Greetings, greetings, one and all. Enough love to you, enough respect to you, honor to the ancestors, honor to the creative force of the universe that resides within all of us. Enough honor to each and every one of you out there at the sound of my voice, and those that are outside of the United States, those that are in the universe that's tuning into the frequency of this broadcast, because what we put out there will definitely be here for the ages. This is going to be not very long, but it is something that will at least open your mind to understanding or recognizing the qualities of your mind through numerovation and energizing them for your benefit. Now, what I do offer, and I tell people a lot, even in my book, all my books has a disclaimer. And the disclaimer in the new book called Numerovation for Mental Stability says, the author disclaims any liability caused by the direct or indirect use or misuse of the information in this book. The content is not meant to take the place of any form of accredited licensed medical professional or mental health practitioner. And is not meant to replace the need for independent medical, financial, legal, or other professional advice or services, as may be required. The content and information in this book have been provided for educational and edutainment purposes only. And the segment of my book that I'm going to go into, and those who have not gotten my book, if you plan on attending any of my classes, this will be a recommended book to have, because this particular book is a basic numerovational guide to recognizing mental instability and staying motivated through numbers. And like I said, I gave, of course, the disclaimer, because if you do have to get therapy or you do have to go to an accredited practitioner or of the mental world, I do suggest it. But I tell people be very careful of taking any kind of medicine that may mess with the mind, or any type of drug that might mess with the mind, or anything that might mess with the mind, because a lot of the things that people are taking, it can be done naturally. So if you are doing those type of things, hey, I understand. Some people went down that road to learn, and some people are still learning. So if you do plan on ever taking my class, and more than likely my classes will come into fruition around February, it's called King Simon's Holistic Numerovation Course. Learn the BATH method. The acronym of BATH is B stands for see beyond the numbers. A stands for look around the numbers. T stands for learn to track the numbers or the trajectory of the numbers. And H is for why are we hearing the numbers? What speaks to us to make us look at the numbers, whether it keeps on coming up, whether it's a 111, the number 1, all the way to 999. If you're constantly seeing these synchronicity numbers, or what may be called angel numbers, yes, pay attention. And although I've shown most of the advertisement in the early part of this video, please take the time to enroll in Lloyd Strayhorn's online class through Udemy. And you can go to his website to get the sale by going to his website, lloyd-strayhorn.com. That's lloyd-strayhorn.com. Take the basic class, because if you know the basics, then you will understand the advanced class that I will be teaching. Again, it will come about around February after my Earth Day. And since I am born on the first day of February, that's how it's going to happen. Also, my other books are good to have in the class too, because I will be bouncing between the information that are in the various books that I have, like this one, Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. And this one, Numbers Are Simple, Our Children's Health is Important. And of course, I'm going to touch on this one because this has a portion of my life and its connection to numbers in it. No promotion is bad promotion, but these books, the numbers books, are the ones I will definitely suggest that you get for yourself. If you plan on taking my class, and you have until February now, you have until the end of January, going into February to get the book so you can take my class if you want. And if you do want to take my class and become a participant, please text me at 347-496-1022, or better yet, email me at the Numerovator at Gmail. That's the Numerovator at Gmail. And then I will put you in a folder saying that you would like to be a participant in the class. Then I will send your link or send you how you get into the class. It will be a reasonable price. And it will be a very interesting class. It might be a few courses. It might be a few courses that I'm going to touch on, 45-minute classes. And I'm figuring out I should do at least 9 or 10 45-minute classes just to break the ice and show people that this stuff can really work for you. This type of mathematics, this type of metaphysics can really work for you. Okay? So it is now 9:11 in the US of A on the East Coast, but it's 11 minutes after the hour all over the world. And since we're doing it at this time, I started the broadcast at exactly at 9 o'clock on the Eastern time, and I started running down the sponsors. And remember, if you want more information about each sponsor as far as getting in contact with them, by all means, look into the description bar of this particular video. And this video would only be on King Simon Presents, probably for only 24 hours. And then please subscribe to the other channel, and that's where you will see a lot of the videos on those channels when it pertained to numerovation. Like it says, please like, share, and subscribe to King Simon Presents and the Numerovation Nation on YouTube. And my website is kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Please share and like the video, and for monetary love, gifts, use Cash App at $King Simon 3158. That's $King Simon 3158. And paypal.me/King Simon. That's paypal.me/King Simon. All right, let's get into the program since we're not going to stay up here too long. Just want to make sure you got what you got. Okay, so the name of this program is Recognize the Qualities of Your Mind Through Numerovation and Energize Them. And this is for everyone. I don't care if you're original people, Aboriginal people, people that came from Aboriginal people, whether you're Asian, white, Hispanic, or Spanish in any way, or Latino, this is for you. And I want to start off by reading something out of my new book, Numerovation for Mental Stability. the ninth phase, phase 9, and saying higher thoughts of numerovation. I said in the book, it says, there is a time and season for everything. And the time to keep our mind at a higher height is so imperative in these times. I hope people will take what is written in this book seriously. Then I go on to say, the all is mind, the universe is mental. Some may say it this way: the mind is all, the universe is mental. According to the ancient Hermetic teachings, the first principle embodies the truth that all is mind. This means the universe itself, at an underlying and fundamental level, is mental. That all phenomena of life, matter, and energy of the material universe are thoughts of an infinite and universal living mind. And this comes out of the Hermetic teachings. I go on to say, I've heard this saying for over 30 years. The mind is a terrible thing to waste. In this book, I kept it simple, and I hope I didn't waste your precious mental mind, because the subject of mental health touches all people, both young and old. I pray that we all learn to really take our time to understand that, according to who? The World Health Organization, this is their statement. There is no health without mental health. This is their quote that I took from their website. There is no health without mental health. The mental and the physical works together in unison. So, and then I go on to say, no, I am not a doctor or a licensed practitioner in the field of mental health. I am a concerned member of the human family who has gone through my share of depression throughout my life and seen the numerical patterns of it in my own family. I hope what I've shared in this book from a numerological perspective will be a helpful tool and guide in the future. I also state, and this will be the last statement that I'll make before I move on, too many times in this society, we tend to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Usually it's due to what we were taught throughout our lives, our learned biases, and our lack of understanding of what these ancient occult sciences have to offer. That can lead us away from the wisdom of these ancient ways, when according to history, magic and science were once one and the same. And I'm not talking about magic from a hocus pocus type. Magic is from an alchemical science, by turning nothing into something, or turning certain metals into higher frequency metals. So magic, the root of magic is magi. And those were those great ones that was able to do magnificent things in the world of alchemy, in the world of even fighting sciences. So magic and science were once one and the same. But slowly but surely, this is being revealed in modern sciences with words like quantum physics and metamaterial, etc. So in the back of my book, I do have recommended reading and materials and websites you can go to under the phase number 9. And because this particular one is called recognizing the qualities of your mind, or recognize the qualities of your mind through numerovation and energizing in them. I'm going to go to a particular chapter in my book of numerovation through mental stability. And that particular chapter has what I would say, what is called the awareness and introspection phase. And that's phase 7. And what's so interesting, I started the phase with something that Dr. Phil Valentine said. And he was born connected to the number 7. He don't like to give out his birthday, so I totally understand. So he said, self-mastery is the ultimate goal. This was a saying that Dr. Valentine said some years ago. Self-mastery is the ultimate goal. I say in this chapter that numbers are living energy symbols, and our ancestors of antiquity used number equations to mathematically build temples, great temples, universities, and empires all over the earth. Our ancient ancestors also discovered how to use these energetic numbers holistically to help guide and reveal the positive, negative energies, or the high and the low frequencies connected to human beings and other entities. It's like turning on a radio or television. If you don't turn it to the correct numerical dial or frequency, you will not get to listen to or watch your favorite program. Numbers can also be viewed as external symbols and guiding mechanisms. They help make things tangible in this reality through computation, patterns, and sequences, which some would say originated on the continent of Africa. Numbers over the years have proven to have unlimited application in the world of physics and metaphysics. This is in my book chapter called Phase 7, Awareness and Introspection. Now, what I go on to say in regards to a book that I was reading through, and this book is called Africa Counts, Numbers and Pattern in African Culture. Now, in the introductory of the book, one of our late, great, esteemed scholars and historians, John Henry Clarke, wrote the introduction to this book. And it was written by a lady. And of course, I mentioned her name in the back of the book. But he states, using numbers and patterns as organizing principles describe the numeration system, some of them highly complex, the mystical attributes of numbers, geometry in art and architecture, and mathematical games, all of which reveal a highly developed understanding of mathematics. He says the person that wrote the book, she uses photographs, graphs, diagrams, personal anecdotes, and quotations from African literature and oral tradition to document this important contribution to a hitherto little known aspect of African culture. Dr. John Henry Clarke. So in the book that I've manifested, I go through the various numbers and the basic numbers from 0 to 9. And it goes till infinity, really, because the interpretations of numbers will constantly be evolving in infinity of this time that we call the now, because numbers are here to bring order, bring direction, to give guidance, to give mathematical understanding of certain things, whether you're doing geometry, algebra, whatever you're doing. Numbers are here to stay, to help give you guidance. And, I have another thing that I'm going to be speaking on. I'm going to just take the time to show that. I'll be speaking on this channel. It's called Numbers Are Forever. Yes, like diamonds are forever, James Bond movie. Numbers are forever. So please subscribe to be notified at Numerovation, the Numerovation Nation, if you want to hear that breakdown of Numbers Are Forever. And should be very interesting as it's coming to mind. And it's going to be based, again, out of my books, but also out of the intuition, my intuitive faculties that's guiding and that's connecting me to my DNA through my ancestry. So in the book, I talk about the number 0 and the duality and the high and low interpretations of numbers and their vibrations are what we should meditate on and be mindful of, because they give you the highs and lows, or what some people might call positive, negative. So when you deal with something like the 0, in the science or the teachings of numerology, in my book, I said the number 0 is the initial symbol of manifestation, because all numbers came from its womb, or what some may call the void. It is called the boundless circle that has no beginning or end. Its powers are limitless and external. Any number that 0 is connected to, like 10, 20, 300, 1,000, brings immeasurable potential and abundance, both positive and negative. So those that are connected to the 0 in any way, or if it shows up in your name or your birthday or the birth date that you're born, or the birth year, wherever that 0 shows, it adds those immeasurable powers of abundance, both positive and negative. It gives you the extremities. So moving forward, as we look at and let me put these numbers up here so you can see it. Like I said, I'm not going to be that long, but I do want to be strong. There. Okay. So the basic numbers from 0 to 9, before it all keeps on repeating itself and keep on growing and growing and growing and continuing into infinity, because you can actually keep on counting. Even if you're in the trillions and zillions, there's a numbers, gazillions, quantum. The mathematics is there. And any form of the use of numbers is the study of numerology. I created Numerovation to use the studies of numbers from an esoteric and metaphysical perspective and bond it with the motivational perspective. So when you look at the number 0 again, it is an infinite symbol, because all the symbols, the numbers that you've seen, are evolved symbols. Because if you look back at Roman numerals, or you look back at Arabic numerals, or you look back at the Kabbalion numerals, or you look back at the Kemetic numerals, you'll see that this is an evolved system that has evolved to the point that we are able to use it for computation and dealing with computer science of today, which we call the binary code, which has advanced society to a certain extent. But we knew about this because we had advanced civilizations even back then. So we understood the concept of 0, 1, 0, 1 and its unification and its building process, because in the gender type breakdown of numbers, 0, 1 is female, male, female, well. So most female and male constantly coming together to keep on manifesting and creating. So paying attention to that is very important. So going to the number 1 and people that are born and connected to the number 1, that is the first active principle of self, according to the studies of numbers, and is known as the first manifestation from the 0 principle. It is sometimes equated to the one God concept and known as an independent vibration that offers self-knowing, leadership, creativity, dignity, and the oneness of the all and man. This is what I'm writing in my book. This is what came to me through studying and all that in my book. So if we want to recognize the qualities of the mind through numerovation and energize them, then these particular words or things that I'm saying about that particular number is what we need to use to help energize them. Because the interpretation of the numerovation or the numeroscope of the number 1 is self-knowing, leadership, creativity, dignity, and understanding the oneness of the all and man in as one on its positive level. The negative level of the number 1 is being selfish, arrogant, controlling, indecisive. And because I'm born on the first myself, I've gone through that. And sometimes it comes in and out of my life, because that's how these energies come in and out of your life. It's for you to manage your weaknesses and strengthen your strength. So if the weakness of the number 1 is selfish, arrogant, controlling, and indecisive, then it is upon myself to pay healthy attention to the me, myself, and I energy, so I don't go down that negative road or either stay on that negative road. And sometimes people take being self-absorbed or self-protective as selfishness, when that's not the case. Sometimes people have gone through so much in their life that sometimes they have to hold certain things to themselves and not give of themselves all the time and protect themselves so they can heal themselves. So again, if you're born on the 1st of the month or the 10th or the 19th, and like I said, I'm not going to go through all of these numbers, but it is in my book. But self-knowing, leadership qualities, creativity, dignity is something that you have to strive for to be better at, and avoid being selfish, arrogant, and controlling and indecisive. Going to the number 2, I state in my book, the number 2 is the duality symbol, the companion, the mother and father and parental principle. Number 2 energy can signify a pair of opposites, angel, demons, masculine, feminine, true, false, day, night, hot, cold, joy, sorrow. This is what I'm saying in my book. Love from a number 2 person can be unwavering. They are very intuitive, loving, helpful, sharing, giving. And those are the power numbers that they must energize, being intuitive, paying attention to their intuition, not second guessing themselves, loving, being helpful. That is their primary superpower in companionship of any kind at all levels. But they must maintain balance, overcome indecisiveness, stay away from energy drainers and vampires, and they will rise to their highest and wisest vibration. So number 2, people born under the 2 energy, whether it's the 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2, whether it's the 20, 2 plus 0 equals 2, whether it's the 29, 2 plus 9 equals 11, which 1 plus 1 equals 2, you have to stay on that high intuitive vibration and pay attention to your intuitive, loving, and helpful vibration at all costs. It's funny that in tarot, I'm just touching it, but it is in my book, tarot, the number 2 represents the high priest, or high priestesses, pardon me, the high priestesses. That's what the number 2 represents in tarot numerology. In tarot numerology, the number 1 represents the magician. The magician. So again, avoiding the negative or managing those weaknesses of the number 2, where you might become or succumb to energy drainers or energy vampires, or overcome indecisiveness, or learn to maintain balance, is what the number 2 has to do throughout their life to stay on that high, very intuitive, loving, and helpful and sharing energy. And going to the number 3, and anybody born connected to the number 3, like the 12 or the 21, et cetera, et cetera. The 3 is the symbol of the expansive trinity of father, mother, and child, according to certain systems of numbers. The 3 persons should always express themselves through writing, speaking, dancing, communicative movement. Howsoever, the 3, wherever it shows up in your chart, because 3 is so creative and magnetic, and that's a magnetic force, that should be mindful of attracting recklessness, scandalous vibes, and also be careful of gossiping, chatting too much. Everything don't need to be said all the time. You know what I'm saying? So 3 has to, as much as there are that expansive writing, speaking, dancing, and communication energy, they have to maintain their discipline and not be scattered into becoming too gossipy or reckless in what they do. They got to manage that weakness throughout their life. Study the number 3s and study the number 2s and study the number 1s in celebrityhood and your hood and your family. And you'll find a lot of this stuff, the negative and the positive, they need to maintain those type of things. Going to the 4, because like I said, I'm not going to be here too long, because I do have sessions to do today, numerovation sessions to do today. And on that note, if you do want to do a numerovation session with me, by all means, text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And if you are living outside of the United States, I repeat, because some people are a little slow. If you are living outside of the United States, please text me via WhatsApp. Use WhatsApp if you want to contact me and you live in Canada, you live in Africa, you live in Asia, you live wherever. Use WhatsApp and you can contact me free of charge. That's what WhatsApp is all about. Okay. All right. So getting back to what we're saying here, going back to the subject matter. Recognize the qualities of your mind through numerovation. Going to the number 4 and look at the symbol of the 4, because each one of them are symbols, like I said, and each symbol represents something, even in different forms of numerology. In certain forms of numerology, you have the flow line flow, and the flow line is the shapes that you see the numbers in, where you see the 0 has the more circular shapes. The 1 has a more linear shape. The number 2 has the circular shape on top and then the linear shape on the bottom. The 3 has the circular, half circular shape contours. The 4 has the line, the linear numbers to make the 4. 5 has the linear numbers and then the curvature at the bottom. 6 has a full curvature at that connects right with each other at the end of the curve. When you make 7 deals with the 2 linear parts of the numbers meeting up to form some type of point. The 8 represents the 2 circular motions of a circle coming together, but in between that circle, there's a slight line of connection. And then 9 represents, again, that circular motion. It's an upside down 6 at 6. And that 9 has that same high and low, up and down energy with each other. And this goes on till infinity, this number counting. So understand that even in the flow line, it tells you about what it is, because the circular or the curvatures represents the feminine energy. The linear energy represents the masculine energy. Again, the duality is there. So going to the number 4. 4 is the symbol, as I state in my book, and I don't read it all. I just try to touch on it and teach what I have to teach, what comes to me. 4 is the symbol of the square, laying foundation. It's also known as the physical plane number. In different systems of metaphysics, the number 4 is also connected to the various symbols of the cross, 4 corners of the earth, the four elements that we deal with, air, fire, water, and air, fire, water, and earth, land, So, but, I contest, of course, don't forget ether. There is the things that this stuff come out of and that they have to work with, that ether, that invisible energy or that matter that they have to work with. However, I don't talk about that in the 4 energy. So the number 4 person can experience great development and success if they learn to plan, stay organized, and communicate clearly with others. 4 persons is loyal to a fault and can feel restricted in different relationships. The number 4 person is usually misunderstood by those around them, and the number 4 is known as the number of secret haters. And one thing the secret haters have known of, secret haters or enemies, they always got to be very mindful of that. And they always have to stay on that high organized mindset and be able to clearly communicate with people so they can leave clear, concise foundation. But they got to monitor anything that can lead them to depression or feeling restricted in any way. That's why they must learn to express themselves. So they got to manage a lot of these weaknesses. So that's why in this book, 4 is one of the primary numbers. In the book, Numerovation for Mental Stability, 4 is one of the primary numbers for mental depression, annoyances, because they can live in their own head. All right. And what's so interesting, in tarot numerology, the 4 is known as the Emperor card. Learning the rules of the material plane. They have to learn and master the rules of the material plane in order for them to establish a firm foundation. So wherever 4 or any of these numbers show up in your chart, in your numeroscope, then that is what you have to work with if you see the negative of the numbers appearing. Going to 5 now. 5 is the symbol of man or woman in certain circles. 5-pointed star or the pentagram. It's also that is known as that. In physical life, the number 5 is also represents 5 fingers, 5 senses. The number 5, people love their freedom and are able to adapt and change to any situations. Their versatility allows them to be carefree and constantly on the move. 5s are very adventurous, and possess many talents. But the only negative of the number 5 is that they got to be very careful of overindulgence and being impulsive and getting caught up in being addictive to whether drugs or sex or whatever. They got to be so they got to learn to manage that, because it can also cause a lot of confusion, whether mentally, physically, or spiritually in a 5 energy, because they can be very careless and have addictions and addictive vices around them. They got to be very mindful of the 5. So again, going back to what the theme of this is, recognizing the qualities of the mind through numerovation. These are some of the qualities that I touch on when there's a multiple about amount of interpretation through other books, but they all seem to follow the same thread when it comes to personal dynamics. So going to the number 6, and I'm going to go all the way to 9. I got to go all the way to 9 so people can get the gist of it. So going to number 6, 6 is the symbol of divine balance and of nature. It is all, and it's all. And all it's about beauty. That's one thing the number 6 is about. You'll find that if you know anybody born under the number 6, the 24th or the 15th of the month, you find them to be very beautiful people. And if they have any kind of deformity, they'll find that they have beautiful spirits, very beautiful, energetic people. But 6 is also, in many studies, the symbol of generations, especially generations dealing with family. It's a symbol. It's another symbol of man in another sense because of the 6-pointed star, true triangles superimposed with one pointing towards the heaven and the other one pointed towards the earth. So it represents the higher and lower nature of humans. As above, so below, looking at the 6-pointed star triangle or six-pointed star, 2 triangles being laid on top. And remember, 6 is that family-orientated homemaker, nurturer, comforter. Education is their thing. Loving, serving humanity is their thing. Negative of the number 6 is that they have to learn to maintain a forgiving heart, because forgiveness is that highest form of healing, and try to avoid being hard-headed in what they do and jealous. They have to maintain truth, justice, harmony, balance, reciprocity, and righteousness. That's one thing that the 6s or people born on the 6th, the 15th, or the 24th have to do, which is so interesting because if you look at a particular number of the combination of the number 6, the 15 in tarot numerology is called the devil card, the card of the devil. It depicts man and woman chained through the wrong use of the magician's magical wand. So people born particularly under the 15, but also with the 6th and the 24th, you got to be careful of when you use these alchemical magic symbols or these modalities, whether it's dealing with Ife or native systems and all that. You got to be very careful. That's why you have to have a kind heart with kind interpretations, because it will swing back around and hit you. If you look at the number 6, when you start, it's a curve that comes right back and hits itself. You see, I look at symbols. It's not like it's going over the 6 and keep on going in a spiral fashion. It's a line, a curvature line that comes back and hits itself right in the midsection, so to speak. If you look at the number 6, 9 is the same way, upside down. So these 2 particular numbers, 6 and 9, has to be always on a higher level, or what they put out there will come back and hit them like a karmic number. And also 8 has that, because it has that what goes around, come around type symbol, that infinity symbol. So 6s have to pay close attention to that type of stuff. And anywhere that 6s is shown in your chart, you got to be very mindful. That's why you always have to have that healing and forgiving and that balance energy around you, reciprocal energy. Even if people don't give it to you, you have to maintain the balance, because 6 is the number of the balance. Going to the number 7. The 7 is the symbol of spiritual growth and development of higher intuitive understanding. The number 7 is known as the symbol of eternal combination, or the eternal combination of the creator and the nature within man. The number 7 people are considered researchers, philosophers, and metaphysics teachers, very observant, very studious, And they learn to understand the path of life very early if they really put their mind to it. And one thing that sevens have to do is meditate and stay on top of their visualization. But the depressive part of seven is depression, lower thoughts, being isolated in their own heads at certain times that can pull them down. So sevens in tarot numerology represents the chariot, the mind over emotion energy. And they must overcome imbalances because, again, it can lead them to mental depression. That's why 4, 7, 8, 5, and 3, according to my continual studies in my new book, Numerovation for Mental Stability, I call those the primary mental annoyance numbers. Those are the primary mental. But the two primary ones, or strong ones, are definitely the number 4 and the number 7. So it's incumbent upon the number 7 to keep their mind in a higher meditation, a higher visualization, to be their very best self. Moving forward, the number 8, symbol of evolutionary development and balance. And number 8 is also known as the flawless symbol of balance, cause and effect, the karmic number, the infinity symbol when you turn it to its side. Two circles placed above each other, one rotating opposite directions, one going clockwise, one going counterclockwise. So anytime I see the 8, it reminds me of this old soul energy, because that's what it represents, the ancestral karmic energy. Whether your karma could be cause and effect, can be positive or negative, it's totally up to you and what you have inherited over the years. Also, the 8 has that, like in the 5%, they used to call it the build and destroy. And it is one of those numbers. You can build and destroy because, like I said, it's two in certain teachings of numbers, it's 2 zeros on top of each other, one going clockwise, one going counterclockwise. So one moving with the energy and one going against the energy. So 8's got to be very careful, because 8's at certain times, if they don't learn to understand and be aware of assets and liabilities, they can be an asset to themselves or a liability to themselves, depending on how they handle things internally and externally. So those born on the 8th, the 17th, or 26th of the month have to be very cognizant of what they do to maintain certain balance, especially in all facets of their life, from their personal life to their monetary life and to other forms of their life, whatever they do. Going forward, last but not least, to the number 9. 9 is the symbol of conclusions, initiations, being in preparation of new things to come. I say in my book, in ancient studies, the number 9 is considered a sacred number. And when it appears, we must pay close attention to its dual meaning, because it is a high vibrational universal love and harmony number. And anybody that has that has to maintain that. But on the other side, it can bring anger, contention, sorrow, war, death. That's why one time there was a sister that came from the Nuapian nation that had the nerve to call me. And because I taught about the Chaldean system of the 8, but she didn't really understand why the Chaldeans revered the 9. And because she came at me at a certain way, I didn't even really indulge too much, because I knew she didn't understand what it is. It's not that the Chaldeans or those darker hue people that had the number system did not revere and respect the 9. They respected so much they did not put it in their chart, because they know when it shows up what it represents and what it can pertain it to. So the darker folks that Pythagoras took it from, he, in his own way to serve his people, he put it out there when actually it was a number that they have high regards and respect. Those black or darker people, or those people of melanin, had high regards to the number 9. Even when you do nine's timetable or the addition of number 9, you'll see that number 9 has a certain reflective energy that always keep on bringing it back to itself. Whatever number it adds to it comes back to that number itself. Whatever number that it multiplies with, it always comes back to itself. So you got to pay attention to that 9 frequency. And when you are born on the 9th, the 18th, or the 27th of the month, monitoring your anger and your warlike energy is very important, because y'all supposed to maintain a humanitarian and compassion and inspirational energy, and be careful of becoming narrow-minded and argumentative and aimless in your pursuits. Number 9. Okay. Again, like I said, I wasn't going to be on here for long. We're on here exactly almost an hour. And I hope this serves as a purpose and help everyone that's watching. I didn't show my face because it's not about me showing my face. It's really about you learning and taking in what is said. Also, the significance of other numbers like this, these numbers, the advanced numbers like the 10, the 20, the 11, the 11, the 22, the 33, they all are part of what we just said. And it just add more depth. It just add more levels to each one of the numbers I just said. That's why in my system of numerovation, I call 10, 20, and 30, 40, 50, anything that 0 follows, I call the master number potentials. And it's not that they're not master numbers. I say potential because sometimes people born on the 10th, the 20th, and the 30th lose their way and then gain a footing later on in life. They're strong, because if you study people born under the 10th, 20th, and 30th as far as celebrity or doing high frequency things, they're proving themselves to be a master. So the potential drops when they actually reach that height. So I call them master number potential. So I want them to grow into it. Master numbers are already known as master number because of the doubling of the frequency. But if you look at the number 10, if you add 1 plus 0 equals 1, again, it returns back to itself. So the doubling comes back. 2 plus 0 equals 2. It returns to that master number frequency. But they have to use the energy of the 1 and the 0 and combine it and rise to its highest level to become the master numbers that they're supposed to be. Because 0 adds high potentials and extremities behind it, whether positive or negative. 11, 22, 33, or 22, people that are born on the 11th or 22, they go through their high extremities, whether it's highly high on one level of being a great person, or they're going towards a more depressive. Sometimes the people that carry these energies with them, the master number potentials, and the master numbers go through some deep depression if they don't learn to control it and learn to understand the qualities of their minds connected to the numbers and its energetic interpretations. So it's important that we understand sometimes these frequencies. And like I say all the time, numbers are not here to control you. Numbers are here to guide you, not control you, guide you. Just like any other of these modalities that they try to demonize and call Satan and devil worship and all that. That's not the truth. If you have proper intentions, these things and these mathematics can be very helpful to you. Numerovation will be very helpful to you as a start for you to reach your highest pinnacle. But I do give other modalities. I do give recommended reading in the back so you can study for yourself and make it yours. Study. I want to build a brand of numerovators out there, because that's what it's all about as you're going forward. Motivating people with their numbers to reach higher heights. That's what I'm about. So just like when the angel numbers or the synchronicity numbers come up, those numbers represents a high and low of what you may be going through, and that you need to reflect on the high and don't go towards the low. When you see 11, 11, 11, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 10, 10, 11, 11, 20, 20, all this have these reflective energies that you have to understand on multiple levels. Don't limit yourself. There's no limitation, because again, I'm saying until infinity, these interpretations will keep on evolving, but the basis of them, the foundation will always stay strong. That's why one of my teachers, Lloyd Strayhorn, always says, Universal principles will never go out of style. Universal principles will never go out of style. So please enroll in his class. Go get his basic astronumerology. He blends the best of both worlds. Astrology is not my strength. I do touch on it, but I touch on it from a mathematical perspective, more from numerovation. His strength is astronumerology. He started off as an astrologer first and then went into numerology and then blend the best of both worlds. So take his class online. There's the website, www.lloyd-strayhorn.com. Take his basic class. Before you come to me, take his basic class. Believe me, it is worth it. Take the basic class because at least you'll have a basic premise of what you're going to get into when you're coming to me, because I'm going to go up. I'm going high, 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 high. I'm going high when my classes come about. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to be the holistic numerovation course. You know what I'm saying? My bath method is something that I'm comprising and putting together, and the curriculum is coming out beautifully in my head. And I'm now putting it to paper. So when you're ready for my course, please, again, take Lloyd's course. And once again, please, if you want to get my book, if you want to get the hardcover, it's going to take longer to come to you if you do the hardcover. I don't mind, but I will not be signing any more books because after that waiting period that I had, I did not like that. So anybody that orders a hardcover from me, you can go to kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com/products, and I will send it directly to you from the printer. But they have their own protocols. They have their own pandemic protocol or plandemic protocols. That's up to them. If you want to get the soft cover and get it right away within 5 working days or 3 and 5 working days, you could go to Amazon and get the soft cover. Both of them are very beautiful, and they both, of course, have the same information. Those who want to get my merchandise, you can always go to that website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com/products. That's right. I got shirts, I got mugs, I got fanny packs, all of that. And I got multiple different types of numerovation shirts and all kinds of new stuff I add on there every month. So you can get those shirts on there too. And also spandex for women, with the numerovation is on it. I got that there too. Socks, got all kinds of stuff on my through my website, going to teesprings.com. But you can go to my website. For the best crowns in the world, my brother, the copper child, Mike Ill. Make sure you go to his channel, Two Conscious Black Crystal Connection. He be dropping that numbers connection as far as how he wins the lottery and doing his thing. He has a free online audio visual book club also, but you can call him for those crowns, 212-256-1358. His birthday is coming up too, so big up to him. Big up to Brother Shabazz. His birthday is today. Ashley Larry, Donnell Rollins, a good friend of mine also. His birthday is today. He is a great person, a beautiful sister, one of my family members from out there, Trinidad. Janelle Lewis, licensed real estate salesperson and consultant. Give her a call if you want to at least follow up on your goals of buying property and land and financial credentials and all that kind of stuff. 347-866-1153. That's 347-866-1153. Of course, here is my dear partner in Vibes. When we do interviews, this is the one that I call for the balance. Her name is Empress Aisha Amor. Check us out on King Simon Presents. That's King Simon Presents. And like I said, this particular video would only be on King Simon Presents between 24 to 48 hours. That's it. And then I'm going to leave it on the Numerovation Nation, but it will be also uploaded to my Patreon page. That's King Simon Productions. Patreon.com/King Simon Productions. And this is Aisha Amor's beautiful jewelry line. She has some great orgasmic experiences with her earrings. So make sure you hit her up, DM her at @1million_adornments. I've seen people stop for her stuff. Believe me, it is good. Good. Boom. Pedalwise.com. Going to visit them when I go to Florida. Going to visit the Pedalwise factory when I go down to Florida and get an appointment. Actually, I'm going to do an acupuncture session with this great doctor, Dr. McCabe. And if you want 10% off, guess what? The coupon code is King 2020 before this end of this month. Go get that code. Go get that 10% code deal, King 2020. Hit them up at pedalwise.com and let them know King Simon sent you. All right. That's pedalwise.com. Can't wait to see my dear family out there in Florida when I go out there and visit. Those who want my books, my other books, Numerovation books, Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. Go to Amazon and Kindle. Numbers Are Simple. Our children's health is important. Children's health. Go to Amazon and Kindle. No promotion is bad promotion, and all publicity is good publicity. Go to Amazon and Kindle. And remember, when you support these last 3 books I just mentioned, you support the legacy of Dr. Laila Africa and Dr. Melanie Stevens Africa. Enough respect to them. They found it fit to believe in their brother and actually show their brother love by actually publishing my books. So these last books, this one, and this one. When you support me, you support Dr. Laila Africa and the continual learning journey that he offers throughout his years, all his life. Once again, those who want to do a Numerovation session with me, please text me your full name and date of birth. If you are living outside of the United States, Canada, Africa, Caribbeans, please text me via WhatsApp. If you live in the United States, please text me at 347, your full name and date of birth, 496, your full name and date of birth, 1022. All right, for the special advertisement rate. Okay, because it is a special advertisement rate. Some very prominent doctors said I should charge more, but this is a special advertisement rate because I want you to get it. And once again, content disclaimer: the views, comments, and opinions expressed by guests, speakers, or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters or its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. I'm only saying that, although I support everything I say as far as my numerovation is concerned, I do have to have disclaimers for the sponsors, just in case they don't believe in it, they don't acknowledge it, but they do believe in me and what I do. Respect to that, okay? And let's close out with Dr. Delbert Blair's prayer. Ja, Lee, 2, 1, 2, 3. Please, universal creator. Please, universal creator. Please, universal creator. Know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only your truth and your love now. Those who wish to support our dear brother, Dr. Blair, and his continual legacy, here it is. For the continuation of Dr. Blair's legacy, please go to his official website. That's www.themetacenter2.com. That's www.themetacenter2.com for books, ELF protectors, which is extra low frequency protectors that he used to teach about. His books, he got some great books. I think I have 3 of them, but there are 4 of them out there, and products and much more. He got those Faraday cage products. He got a lot of stuff. He got certain crystal stones, magnets, all of that is on his site. And big up to Tony and the whole crew that over there at the Meta Center too, for holding and keeping the legacy alive and still teaching classes online, offline, secretly, all of that. Okay. My family, one love, one aim, one destiny. I respect and love you all. Thank you for being a part of my journey, my continual journey. And once again, look out for this next up and coming presentation that I'm going to do on these channels. Numbers are forever. Numbers are forever. All right. So this has been a King Simon presentation, and of course, recognizing the qualities of your mind through numerovation and energizing them. Get the book. You will not be disappointed. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening, wherever you may be. Peace and love. Take care.